Hey everybody, it's Theresa here and welcome back to my 2019 December daily album. I am playing along with hashtag Done by December on Instagram and in the Allie Edwards Facebook group, so I hope that you will join us and check out the many other designers who are participating, and the design team, of course, for Allie Edwards is participating. And so the lovely thing about doing foundation pages is that when you are done with the month of December and you come back to finish your pages, it goes pretty quickly. And so that means today I have days 17 through 20 to share with you. They went relatively quickly. About an hour altogether to finish these 4 days. And so there's some really fun inserts that I think you'll like. You can see here I'm working with this half circle insert that came from Felicity Jane, and I am using the front side for my number, and I'll put my photo on the back side of this fun little insert. And this is such a simple way to do one day in your album, and I think I might repeat this idea over and over and over again this year, next year, and the next year, on, because it really is an easy way to get a single day recorded here. And so I printed a photo of myself for this day, and I wanted to journal a little bit just about where I was emotionally at that time. And yes, I am journaling a bit retroactively, and I think that it's okay to do that. So the photo I have trimmed out. I printed it just a little bit larger than the insert itself, and then cut around it using my scissors after adhering it down. And then, full disclosure, the hardest part about this page was picking the number. This was seriously like just one single decision that had to be made, and for some reason it really challenged me. So that's kind of funny, but I did just end up choosing a number. And I think that you couldn't go wrong. There's a perfect space in the center of this wreath that makes a great spot. I really thought about using these wooden numbers, but they didn't match. I didn't have the one that went with that 7. And so it just didn't really, I don't know where I went there. Oh yeah, because I went to grab some other numbers. You guys, if you've followed me any length of time, you know that I'm slightly obsessed with December daily numbers and any sort of numbers, really. And so I store these in some drawers over on one side of my studio year round. I have them in little 4x4 cardboard boxes by number. And these are really helpful anytime throughout the year when I'm doing layouts about my children's ages. I use them for that as well. And so I go in those quite a bit, and love that if I'm working with the number 17, I can pull out the box for number 17, and I can pull out the box for number 1 and number 7, and have lots of choices. And of course, sometimes it's too many, too many choices, but I'll get it figured out. And so I went ahead and punched the holes there into the photo. And I think I was having some interruptions that's where I keep disappearing to. But having all the kids home, sometimes, and I have one that does his schoolwork in my studio. So sometimes that means I get interrupted throughout the day, and that's all right. We're doing really well with the virtual learning, so I'm really proud. of all of these kids and how well they're doing. But that's completely off topic there. So final decision time. I feel like it's just time to figure something out and get it done. So one more look at the 17s, and then the little gold ones won out. The little gold numbers are from Felicity Jane as well. So this ended up being pretty much a Felicity Jane insert here. And I'm just going to adhere those down. And then my journaling, I thought a little bit about it, and I'm just going to go around the circle and write my words around the circle really quickly. And that's all that it needs. And so once I have the journaling done here for this page, I'm going to move on to day 18. And so I'll tell you a little bit about day 18. And so I had grabbed one of the Ali Edwards transparent pockets to put a couple of things in. And what I had was that Natalie was in chorus last year, and she had a December concert, of course. And so, one more thing that I'm going to just add a little label here. And trying to figure out like where to add it. And I ended up just putting it there vertically. And just a few more words that I'm going to write there. Funny story, I'm going to go back and finish punching the other holes. And I punched right through that little label. But that's all right. So here's the pocket. And what I did was I printed out a photo from the concert itself, and then I also have the program. And originally I had the program flat inside the envelope, and it made the envelope a little bit taller than the album itself. It just didn't feel right, so I folded it in half. And then they're both inside there, and I wanted to add a little date here. And so that date number is from Celine's studio. It's one of her December Days number collections. If you don't have those, you absolutely need them. I will share links in the blog post where you can download those. They are digital, and I just print them out every year. I print them out, cut them with the silhouette, and then they're part of the number collections that I hold on to. And then I thought I should put a little tag at the bottom too. And that way, when the previous insert, when day 17 is laying on top of that, then you'll see the lovely little date and the tag. And I'm just stapling that tag where the seam is at the bottom of the pocket, so it won't interfere with the inside of the pocket or anything like that. And then I wanted a little bit of twine, and I've already got a little container here of twine that I've been working with or keeping on hand for some other things. And so I'm just going to grab this is a little bit of a thicker twine, but it has a bit more presence than the thin twine, I feel like. And so it helped it kind of pop against the transparency pocket. And then I just layered a little word strip, a little Felicity Jane word strip over top of that wreath on the on the tag. The tag itself is also from Felicity Jane. And then there's where I went back and punched those other holes, and into the album they go. And then I'm going to move on to day 19 and day 20. So for day 19, I just have these 4 3x4 pockets. And I've already added a filler pocket using some of the little tree embellishments. They were from Felicity Jane, and there was I think there was a cork tree, the little gray tree, the green tree, and the wooden tree. I think all of those came from Felicity Jane in one little packet, and they were so cute, and I was inspired to put those in their own little pocket. And there's a little progression, and I'm sorry that I didn't get it on camera, but I ended up not really liking how those trees lay in that pocket. Just a quick note, I'm going through some of my Paisley Press and Ali Edwards cards to figure out what I want to put in the other pockets. And so that's what's going on here. But what I ended up doing was actually pretty cool. I cut that pocket open and grabbed another 3x4 pocket page and put a little transparency. And so those trees now, 2 of the trees sit on one side of the transparency and the other tree sits on the back of the transparency. And where they overlap, I put a little teensy bit of tape so that they will stay in place. There's also some sequins in there, and what I did was, usually I take my fuse tool and seal those sequin pockets, but this one I used a little tiny bit of red line tape, and it worked out perfect, and it was a little bit easier than using the fuse tool. I think I need a new fuse tool, actually, because it's not really working as well as it used to. But there you go. And so you can see here the cards the journaling cards that I chose for this layout. And so let me tell you about, I had a lot to say about this page actually. That photo is from one of our favorite pizza joints here in Kernersville called The Loop, and they had a really cute little artwork drawn on their chalkboard at the registers when you order your lunch. And so I took that photo. I think almost every year, I put some kind of photo from The Loop in my December dailies. I think I've done that before. I think one year it was a little poinsettia that they had in their restaurant. But that sort of directed my color choices. That plus the little gray tree. And so I wanted to repeat the gray from the tree, and I wanted to bring in that green as well. And so I chose the green filler card with the little quote on it. And then I chose the journaling card that has the little gray lines. And I thought that was a really good way to tie all the elements in this layout together. It also repeats the gray from the insert. And so I think when you turn this page, there will be the little Merry and Bright insert that you see underneath my pen, which of course is also gray. And then I'm going to put a little gray star there at the top of the filler card. And so basically, I think you've probably gathered that the story for that day was about having a lunch date with Alan at the Loop. And that was the story for day 19. And I also added the little circle 19 from Felicity Jane as well. And so you probably saw that little star. It kind of didn't hold very well. Those little puffy stars have been giving me a little bit of trouble, just a heads up. So you might want to go back and check if you use those from the Ali Edwards December daily products last year. Go back and make sure that they're holding up for you. And if you haven't used them yet, you might have to add a little bit of adhesive. It's nothing really to be alarmed about or anything like that. I just used that Tombow liquid adhesive, and it's really a handy thing to keep nearby and just make your little embellishments extra secure. And so when you turn the page, there's day 20. My story for day 20 is this little German spinner that we had bought in Atlanta. That story was a couple of days back, and I put the spinner on the dining room table, and what it is it's this little Christmas scene, a little German Christmas scene, and you light the candles, and when the candles create energy that spins the little scene around and around, and we had such a great time watching that little spinner at the dinner table, and so that's now this kind of new tradition for us, and something that I actually really love. I can't wait to pull this little thing out again this year, and it will definitely be making an appearance in our December daily this year. These are so sweet, and just connects me to my childhood, and lets me, what I love about it is that it lets me share stories from my childhood with our children, and it lets them connect as well with our past, with what has happened to me, and how I became who I am, and how that has shaped them as well, and given them a appreciation for other countries and other cultures. And so you can see the number 20 that I've used there. That's something I've had in my stash for years. I think it's probably an old jelly bean soup number. And then the other cards, which were from Ali Edwards. And that completes these layouts. You guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the blog post at larkinddesigntm.com. And I'll see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.